Hi, welcome to Architect Tips. The purpose of the channel is to teach you some quick tips in Photoshop tailored towards architectural visualization, which will hopefully speed up your workflow. Let's dive right in. Hi, in this video I'd like to run through some of the render passes or render elements you can get out of various rendering software, such as Enscape or something a bit more advanced like V-Ray or Corona. Typically these kind of passes are things such as a reflection pass. You may get something like an ambient occlusion pass and a masking ID pass, which is where the renderer will assign a solid color based on the material applied to it. So the first pass I'd like to look at is the reflection pass. For this, you need to change the blending mode of this layer. That is up here in this in the layer panel. But by default, it's always set as normal. You actually want to change this for this particular pass to screen. So as you can see, changing that blending mode now has left us anything that has a reflective quality to it is enhanced. So if I turn it on and off, you really see those specific areas being enhanced by this particular layer. You can then adjust and dial this down using the opacity of that layer to control how much you would like this layer to affect your image. So the next pass is the ambient occlusion pass. This is just a simple solid white layer with the black areas where objects are touching other objects, and it creates almost like a drop shadow effect. This can be controlled within the render engine how much and how large this area is. For this, I've enhanced it quite a lot just so it's visible. For this mode, you need multiply, and if I just zoom in a little bit, maybe you see a bit clearer to actually what this pass is doing. So you can clearly see it in all of these areas. It's enhancing just the shadow areas where those objects make contact with another object. If you drop the opacity of this layer, you can actually really get a nice simple result. Something like 30%. Just really enhances just those areas. So if I zoom out and turn that on and off, hopefully you can see the detail that it starts to add, especially in walls. But be careful with this layer. You don't actually want to overdo and use this layer too much, because it can start to look a bit too fake in areas. So you could also add a mask on this layer, coming down here and using the layer mask icon, and then painting into this layer areas where it's a bit too strong and painting them out. So you're only leaving it where you actually want these certain areas to be highlighted. And the other element that you will get from a renderer engine will be a masking ID. To use this pass, just use the Magic Wand tool, and once the layer is highlighted and selected, you can then go in and simply click and select an object. Once the object is now selected, there's a few things you can do with this now. So for example, you might want to change the color of this particular object. Again, we come down here to the adjustment layer tab, click, and if we apply a solid color, this could be any color at this point, just maybe we want to make it more of a blue tone, press OK. And again, this is where we need to change the blending mode of this particular layer so it looks a bit more convincing. If you click and just scroll the mouse down any of these, you'll actually see the result of what that mode will do to that layer. So in this particular case, I only want to be quite subtle, so maybe use something like a soft light. And again, if you don't like the strength of it, adjust the opacity so you can have it more subtle. Or if you do like the intensity of it, leave it 100%. You can also then go back. If you double click on the color swatch of that particular layer, you can change the strength and the color of it by clicking various hues or tones of that particular color. Or again, you can go back and change it to a completely other color. And this is a nice way of getting different options for objects, saving them out. Some render engines, such as Corona and V-Ray, also have the ability to give an RGB render element pass. So this is done by assigning certain materials with a number, and that number then is applied to the red, green or blue channel. This is very useful in also changing colors or selecting objects very quickly. Once you have the pass selected, if you go into the channel panel, you can now click on the thumbnail of the channel. So if I wanted to change the wall, for example, here, if I control click on the thumbnail, it will automatically make that selection for me. And now I can just simply go back, make an adjustment layer, such as like a curve layer. And this now gives me the ability to maybe give a bit more contrast into that wall, like so. So these render elements really do help in the post-production of an image and can really enhance an image very quickly with a few simple tweaks of the certain elements and passes, and then having the ability to also be able to select certain elements within the scene and change them individually by using the Magic Wand tool and these passes, or the RGB channel of this particular pass, can really help enhance your image. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be really appreciated if you give it a like and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on more useful tips. Thank you for watching.